On today's video, we're going to be continuing our theme with VR settings for Assetto Corsa. Moving on with our 90 Hz settings for the Quest 2. We're going to go into overview of our settings within Content Manager as well as in the Quest app. I'll share my presets with you for Assetto Corsa as well as showing a couple of examples of how those settings apply in the game. Let's hop right in. We're going to go into our 90 Hz settings for our MetaQuest. I'm already in the link right now, and I've got it at 90 Hz 3616 by 1856. We're going to go hop over to our debug tool. And whenever you are into QuestLink, you can go ahead and start with this setting right here. And this one might vary from PC to PC, but I've been messing around with 800 and I might actually end up falling back to 500 just for more stability. Once you've set those, you can quit. And now we can go into Content Manager. And I've already got my presets for 90 Hz set in settings. For this, I like 8x, a bit more clarity, visual fidelity. I have my mirrors in the middle, keeping this at render resolution at 100. Pretty simple. For these, I'm on the newest version of CSP through Patreon, so there could be some differences between your version and mine, but for the most part, most of these settings will be available to you. Most of the newer versions. I keep this off for VR. Has no effect. It just creates a load. Save that for your flat monitor. Here, I like to be balanced and auto and AMD FSR. My LODs are at default at 100%, and for anti-aliasing I'm using FXAA and high. Grass FX, medium. Lighting effects, keep it dynamic. Rain, medium. Reflections, I like to keep them in the middle. Weather effects right now I'm using pure gamma, but I do like default, pure LCS and Sol. Most of their settings are pretty identical. And that's about that. So we're going to hop into this and let's see how well we do. So we are in fact pulling those frames. Perfect. Felt nice. Feels good. Looks good. Can't complain. So that's a win right there. So let's go ahead and hop into a different car. We'll do oh yeah, random car that I have not driven yet. Okay. Let's see. I'll put this on a track somewhere. You know, we'll take to Macau. I haven't even been on this track. I have no idea how this one's gonna go. That was a win for the frames. Now let's keep in mind, I will do a video later on where we go deep dive into these settings and we really get down to learning what these settings do, what kind of impact they'll have on your gameplay. Also keep in mind that these are baseline settings. If you have the headroom to pull more, you absolutely can. Just keep in mind, once again, 3 keep in minds. You know, it's really about being mindful. Every track and every mod that you end up using will have a varied effect on your load, and that is super important, especially when you're going online, because we'll just hop right into No Hesi and we can see exactly what happens here. I think we'll have pretty decent results. Okay, so we did that test. But yeah, I'm gonna reiterate once again, your results may vary. You may not also have OBS running at the same time. You might not also be putting a load on your computer doing other things. But if you start with a baseline, it gives you a healthy place to be like, okay, well, I can handle this. Let me see if I can handle it here. Oh, I can handle it here too. Okay, well, maybe I can turn up my resolution. Maybe I can turn up the AMD FSR to quality instead of balanced. There's a couple of different places that you can go and you can mix and match, and you find how that works better for you. Because I know that not everyone has exactly the same setup, but as far as GPU goes, you might have the same framework, 3070 RTX, but yours might have 12 gigs as opposed to mine having 8 gigs. You might have a better manufactured one than mine, where it's got 3 fans. Maybe it's got a better cooling design than mine, and yours performs a lot better. These are all variables that you'll have to take into account with your settings, and this is why it's very hard to find any kind of place to really work from when you're just getting into a game, just learning how to work with your rig in a community modded game. So that's why I wanted to make this page. If you know your specs and you see what I'm running and you see how that performs, then you should be able to see where yours can do the same thing or exceed it, or know where you can't actually, because there might be some people that try these settings and they're like, oh yeah, nah, I can't do this at all. But that's absolutely a possibility. You have to realize that a lot of this stuff there's so many different ways to set a game like this. Even if I set it this way, that's not the only way to do that. I think these are going to be helpful videos for you to start with, getting an idea of where to even turn to as a starting ground for settings. It's hard as hell getting here. I mean, picture this, like I have had the game for about a year now, and it's taken about this long to understand all of the things that go into it, and I'm still learning. So hopefully we can learn together on that part, and whatever I find, I can help and I can share. And there you have it. Those are our 90 Hertz settings for Assetto Corsa. Now keep in mind, these are just a baseline. If you have more specs, you can always go higher, but I just wanted to give everyone a foundation, a good place to start, so that if you know that the tracks that you like or the cars that you like can run a little bit better or get a little bit more quality out of it, you know exactly what direction to go in with your settings. Until next time, stay tuned for our 120 Hertz video coming up next.